Alvy's ISA this morning because she got money for her birthday.
Fake money.
It's not fake.
I
It has to come from a pot though. This is what I
Yeah.
do. So I don't know if you ever have cash and you think, how can I incorporate it into my budget? My top tip is pick petrol or food.
Yes.
And say if you've got 100 in your fuel pot and you've got 50 cash, put 50 somewhere and swap the cash in.
Yeah, your excess or emergency fund or investing or whatever. Yeah, I do
otherwise
that. You're doubling up on it all.
Welcome to The Vault with Financial. This is a safe space where we talk all things life and money and no topics are off limits. Are we ready?
We are.
We're ready. Good morning.
I feel like this is very dark.
I was just about to say, did we plan this?
Yes.
I
dark
thought I
outfit?
could retire the leather pants.
Nope.
But nope.
It's not.
All summer I will be wearing these pants.
Holly and I are in our uniform black.
I'm on brand a little bit.
At least giving the baby pink vibes.
I'm on brand. Old brand. OG. This is the first hoodie that we ever made, wasn't it? But now we've got our proper merch, so you're going to have to check that out.
Okay, controversial opinion time. A higher salary isn't always better.
So that's controversial to someone on a lower salary, isn't it?
Yeah. Screw you.
You would say that. What do you think, Lisa?
So I've got I'm coming in with 2 points. One is work-life balance. So say someone's on a really good salary, but they're in the office all the time, working some weekends, constantly their mind is filled with work.
Yeah.
They've got a family as well and everything. But then the other point is there's no point earning more if you don't know how to manage your money.
100%.
So what do you think about both of those points? Would you rather be someone who's a high earner, busy constantly all the time, always got work on the mind, or someone who earns a little bit less but has a really great work-life balance?
Or someone that earns a lot but with a really good life balance and manages the money really well?
That's possible. That's possible.
That's a third option.
I think the second, I think that's really hard. I don't know about you guys. When I was at uni and you're trying to find, I knew I wanted to be a lawyer, so I was looking for training contracts, the same with graduate roles or in the careers guide, what do things earn? What does roles earn? And it's so sad because sometimes there's some amazing careers that don't pay a lot. It could be the creative industries, it could be even medical industries sometimes.
Caring roles are always really poorly paid, and I'm I'm not being funny, but
the work
we're
that
all
those
going to
people
rely
put
on that.
in. And unfortunately, by choosing a job or a career with a salary that is kind of capped, maths is maths, and so expenses it's going to provide you a certain type of lifestyle. The opposite end, though, people would flip to what pays the most. Oh, investment banking. Let's go there. Now that's they're very, very sheltered people that go into investment banking generally, especially if they're from that culture. Mm-hmm. What I mean by that is more of a privileged culture where your father probably did it, or your father's friends did it, as opposed to someone who's genuinely grinded and worked their way up and got in there. But it is a high pressured, long hours. I'm going to have to be really careful what I say, because I don't mean that they're working hard, like the doctor in the corner's working hard.
High stress.
But it's high. Yeah. It is high stress. It's high demanding on your time. So you literally go, I'm not going to have a life because the early mornings, late starts, and I kind of chose that with my career as well. And if you can really see how the lifestyle creep comes in, because people are earning that, you're being offered credit to higher amounts. Mm-hmm. You're in the same circle of friends who have the same house style. Keeping up with the Joneses really kicks in for higher salaries. And what none of us know is how someone's managing that behind the scenes. There's a partner law firm I worked at who had a really crappy car, and I mean crappy. And the other partners used to take the mick out of him, and he was doing all right. He literally couldn't care less. He's it gets me from A to B. My kids wreck the car anyway. Yeah. And at the time, I remember thinking, oh my God, why has he not got the Audi, the BMW?
Now
I'm of course, because he's got the high pressure job. What he doesn't want to do is go through years of that and come out of it with not much.
Yeah, add on even more pressure of high car payments, high mortgage payments.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's the lifestyle creep, and we say it all the time. The more money you get, if you can't manage it properly, your spending allowance goes up in your brain. We've all been there when you've been look at Lucy, we've all been there. We haven't. Lucy, we always laugh. This is Lucy's first job, so I always look at her and I'm doing you in a corporate job. Where you're looking at the next salary band. People have spent it in the head already.
Yeah.
It's not to put to my investments or to save for this, that and the other. It's like, so I can go on holiday, I can get a better car, people have already spent it in the head already. So you're not making that much ground up on being more financially well. You're just upping your spending limit.
True.
And it gets riskier as well. So if mortgage payments are higher, car payments are higher, outgoings, fixed costs are higher, if you've not got emergency funds in place, if you've not got anything to fall back on, it's like the bigger they are, the harder they fall.
True.
If one person in that family loses a salary,
it can be
you're
massive.
all up shit's creek.
I love it when people commit to not changing the budget at all when they get a pay rise. And, we've had that before where we've had like pay decreases, whether through children or setting up a business and stuff. And then we've had the pay increases as you kind of come back to work and stuff. And it's amazing if you can mentally ignore the increase and just carry on and bank the rest. Obviously, in a financial budget, it's a P&L, and so you've got your income, your expenses, and then the difference is your excess. And if you can get to a point where, if you're living comfortably, if you don't really feel like there's an area that you're struggling, then all you've done is grown that excess. You've just put more towards your goals. Now, you might proportionately increase it. So you might say, actually, we tended to have a 5% excess. We love that. We're still going to have a 5% excess because I'm always struggling for our clothes, or I really feel like we could
deserve
do
a holiday this year.
Yeah, and so that fund in the top bit of the budget needs more money. So I'm happy saving either a percentage, and I really would say that. I wouldn't say keep your excess the same, like an absolute number.
Make it amount that's coming in,
And it's the same, like the big thing. I do want to encourage other people to expand their horizons when it comes to incomes. I'm not a fan of side hustles for a long period of time. The best way you can increase your income is your main role. And sometimes the money comes a little later. Sometimes it's leaning into something, learning a new skill, being in an industry or gaining skills that have like earning potential. Because if you can learn to manage your money and keep your expenses manageable, gently increase your lifestyle as you want, not just the new car as you get the new paycheck, then you can have so many options. You really, really are. But looking early on at earning potential, and trajectory is what it's called, where you can see, after a certain amount of time it's going to go up. You're going to be able to be in both camps. What I would say is the lower earner, but managing it better. I've seen lots of people with a higher net worth than average and low salary. Like average, lower salary, not the 6-figure, not the even higher taxpayer. Just kind of at a comfortable amount where they can cover their expenses and they don't really want for much. They've got a great life and they are putting money into their pension. They are investing, they might be traveling a little bit and stuff as well, but that's the secret sauce, because hopefully you're doing a job that isn't ridiculously demanding and that's giving you quality of life with your family or quality of life with your friends.
Got a good lifestyle balance.
Yeah, that's special. So if you are not a high earner, just know that if you're good with money, like, you can be a millionaire.
Yeah,
like, the numbers are there.
We've seen some people on lower salaries arguably perform a bit better when it comes to things like net worth and putting
You've
money in.
You've got a bit more of a like drive, haven't you?
Yeah, you've actually got a little bit.
You've got a better understanding of where your money's going. If genuinely, if there's not as much coming in and not as much going out, you can actually keep a handle on it a little bit better.
Yeah, there's a payment that goes out. You're like, hang on.
Yeah. Your attention to detail is there.
What was that?
You're like, whoa. We're being scammed. Oh no, it was me.
It was me to get back to.
Whereas when you've got money, people, when we do customer interviews, they say money comes flying in and it goes flying out. And I feel like when you're a high earner, it's so easy to just
same thing with house thing. Like, you take your, if I was earning 50 grand a year, what mortgage could I get?
You go for the highest one.
Oh, absolutely. Well, if you go even higher and hope you can knock them down on price, it's like the mental thing that people do, that we all do. So it's very normal. But it, like, being mortgage free is a real aspirational goal for lots of people. If you can imagine not owing anyone anything, like debt wise, you just kind of have your daily expenses and it's very freeing. You have money. Now, I'm not mortgage free. It's something that I'd like to do, but it's a big figure. The worst thing for me is then looking at if we both got pay rises, going, should we go get a bigger house? Because I've already got a big mortgage and I would love to see it go early. you suddenly double that or add 50% onto that.
Adding
you're just kicking it down the
that
line.
runway, yeah. When you should be then living your life, you potentially could retire. You're like, I'm chained to this mortgage.
These higher earners tend to spend not just at least a house tends to go up in value versus obviously your regular stuff. But I think that's an interesting side too. Like, is there a good balance, a good medium where you earn comfortably more than like it is to live well and to be well and to invest for the future, but not too much that you get above your stations and get a bit bougie. I don't know.
I like it.
But we've really had a go at that one, haven't we?
Okay, time for dilemma number 1. And this is quite a funny one. So, we pay a family subscription service for Spotify that both my wife and I use. They didn't previously have.
What's funny already?
Sounds familiar.
They didn't previously have a duo premium option, only family. And we shared one of our slots with my sister-in-law. In return, we used to get access to her Netflix account. But now Netflix has tightened up their sharing capabilities. We no longer receive this benefit. But they continue to have access to our Spotify premium account. Spotify family account now costs £20 a month. Do we start sending a monthly Monzo request of £5 for this?
This listener,
is some serious beef.
This listener's actually lying. Do you know why?
Why?
Because I don't think they pay for it either. I think it's their brother that pays for it.
No.
Come clean, Holly. This is Neil, isn't it?
This sounds very familiar. I think it might be my husband that's written this dilemma in.
His brother paid for it.
No, we pay for it.
How long is
his
that?
brother has it as well. He missed that bit out, so his brother should be paying it as well.
I thought I was a parasite on his brother.
No.
So I'm the sister.
It was twice removed, so it was fine. Now I'm looking the person in the eyes.
As if Netflix changing policy was my fault. Do you know the worst bit about all this?
I'm just about to say, you never paid for Netflix anyway. It was Mum that paid for Netflix,
Correct.
and you had her account.
So not only, but secondly, I pay for Spotify for my daughter.
Get her on our account. Right, we need to do some consolidating after this.
So this is an interesting dilemma. He is correct, but
wait a minute. He's just going to ask for that edit. He is correct. Never heard in our family circle before.
The men are never right. I can't share the Netflix. I would, because I pay for Netflix as well.
I would share it.
It's in Silicon Valley. Like, is that where they are? It's America's fault. Everyone's struggling with that right now, aren't they? Like the different.
Oh yeah, I bet there's so much of this going down where everyone's like, so I used to pay for this for you, but now I don't get that anymore. So what can we do?
There needs to be family meetings. Do you remember?
It's like mafia favors, isn't it? Family.
But I remember like one of our community members was going through like a budget review with the family, because it's again everyone's decision, not just hers. And there was like Amazon Prime, Netflix, Spotify, and Disney Plus, and she was like, "Kids, they're going. No, not Disney Plus." And I'm like,
not the Kardashians. New series is coming out.
It's like how you manage that nowadays. I think they're trying to consolidate a lot and help you out a little bit, but Netflix did the dirty, didn't they? With their
they really did the dirty.
I'm still riding.
How?
I don't
Share
know.
it with the people. No, I can't. We might get in trouble.
I've got an extra bit of the confession.
Oh God, what else do I pay for?
Off the press.
So we used to have Mum's Netflix in one room and then my sister-in-law's in the other room, so she paid for us as well. So
Laura,
if you're listening,
it's riding this wave. It's going to come crashing down.
Do you know when I think what Lucy's been able to do is you can ignore it for a little period of time.
It actually went off and we were like, oh my God, we're going to have to stop paying.
So
it came back on.
Follow me for more budget tips.
Yeah. Lucy's really good at doing this. Can you explain to the people, maybe not giving away their brand, but give some people an example of how they can...
Coffee.
I don't want to... Yeah, hack, like money hacks. Give us your favourite one, but maybe don't give it away, then people don't...
It doesn't exist anymore, but, one does. So I used to, when I was in uni, Pret used to have, or another popular coffee chain used to have, it was the start of their subscription. So the first month was free.
Okay.
And you didn't have to carry on for a certain amount of time. So I would
Free
always
trial.
obviously get a free month and then cancel it straight away. And then I had like 3 bank accounts. So I'd use that on everyone, rinse them all, got a million email addresses, that's fine.
This is mafia again, isn't it?
And I was like, Dad, can I have your card details? Mum, can I have your card details?
So you went through
Jack,
the whole
brother.
How many months do you reckon you got out of that?
Like
honestly?
full year.
Full year?
Genuinely. Like full.
Oh my God, can you hear
full
sirens?
academic-
I can hear sirens.
Full academic year. I was sat 5 drinks a day.
She was
Prior
wired.
to my assignments.
No wonder she can't stand caffeine anymore.
I know.
Your body won't take it.
But now me and my mum share a subscription.
Okay.
But don't you have to check ahead of time? Where were you?
Yeah,
Where
you
am
have
I?
to wait.
You had
like,
one.
It's 30 minutes in between each coffee.
That's Lucy's side hustle is
we
keeping
like-
up with who's had a coffee in the last half hour.
Yeah. Me and my mum are like, I've just pretted at 6:45 a.m. Piccadilly Station. My mum's like, okay, I'll be at Liverpool in 4 minutes.
You better work.
It's worth it. I will carry on.
There is something about sharing, like if you can. Sharing
Get one up on
subscriptions.
these companies,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sharing subscriptions
Yeah.
is just.
You can share a financial
standard.
subscription. We've not figured out how to get you to pay for 2 yet. So we've got a couple just sharing one. So go for
We're
it.
on to you.
Sharon.
Sharon. Liverpool. We're cracking down. And your freeloader husband.
I hope our listener
Finds the resolution they were looking for. He's very mature about it. Even though he's
Laura will
ended
be
his
declining
question
any
with an
Mensa
exclamation mark.
requests, so-
you're charging a fee.
Okay, community win. Last month was the first month I haven't used a credit card to bail me out in years.
Woo.
It's going to be a long journey, but at least I feel in control. Thank you so much.
That's not to be underestimated, by the way, because credit cards is just it is the easy way out from
They're just there, aren't they?
It's
They're
a
in your
big jump
purse.
going from like credit card because it's almost like you're not spending your own money, is it?
That's
and then you
precisely
find
it.
it.
fake money. It's fake money
Yeah.
until it's not. Like I think I had a listener message in the other day where her 0% had gone, the interest finally started to kick in, and that's when she was like, "Oh shit, I've been playing this game for years on this riding this 0% wave, and it will end one day, and people will be left wondering what the hell they're going to do." Yeah.
It's like taking someone's life jacket away. We've been conditioned to rely on it. And imagine how that feels when you suddenly make that decision or it's taken away. Like the minute interest rate starts racking up, it does get quite serious for people because suddenly you realise it wasn't your money for lots of people. But up until then, it's just this really easy, simple solution. And mentally it takes us a lot to jump to, I could be that solution. I could be my own
I was
emergency
just about to
fund.
say,
Like,
you have to put the work in. To not have a credit card, it means that you know what's
journey.
going on with your money, and that's a big step for some people. But there are easy ways to do it. Like our methodology teaches you how to do it step by step, like remove the overwhelm. You don't have to be a master of everything all at once. Just knowing your numbers is such a big step. And I imagine a lot of people that have credit cards don't necessarily know the numbers because they just do that and then pay off at the end of the month.
Yeah, so if you're using credit for like month to month expenses, even for bigger expenses that are coming up, I know there's extra protections and stuff sometimes with credit that we won't go into, but if it's for the holiday or if it's for like a washing machine, even then those things are expected. Just been told on text my dishwasher's gone after 4.5 years. We need a new one.
No.
And I had to do my own washing up for 3 days, which is
Oh my God.
more of a stress. When you've got like an aesthetic kitchen, my kitchen is really aesthetic, but everything needs to be put away.
Yeah.
So when you do the washing, oh my God, like you have to do it all the time. I'm going to show all the washing. It's so stressful. Really feel sorry for me. But I underestimate that feeling when a text comes from a partner going, the
Something's
dishwasher man's
broken.
been. He said it's goosed is his word, I think. Goosed. It's goosed 4.5. They tend to have a 5-year life. We've had it 4.5. It's probably had a lot of work with our family. No problem.
Yeah.
Thanks for sorting. I didn't have to say how are we going to pay for that.
Yeah.
What does that mean we can't do? And this isn't a flex. I'm being very, very serious here. The minute you are able to get yourself into a situation where that's not even in the emergency fund, it's in probably the home and garden pot. I'll have to have a look because we did some garden cleaning up before spring, but actually that might not even come from our emergency fund. That might be in the one of these things is going to break. And when you can get to that point where all that stuff is in your budget and it isn't supplemented by credit, you've learned to live on less than you make.
Yeah.
Then, like Holly said, then we think about growing, then we think about saving, then we think about investing. But the first goal is to get to that point. And I was talking to Holly this morning about being financial broke. Do you know what being financial broke is?
No.
When you feel like you've not got a lot of money in your account because it's all socked away in all the different sinking funds. And it's a very real thing. Like you feel like you've not got a lot, but actually you've done the work. And, we were looking at that last night. We were doing the budget. We were moving all our money into all our different pots. Some are sinking funds for the future. Some are spending flexible accounts for this month. There's a big number in there. Mm-hmm. There's some tax savings in there as well. And there's some we're saving up for a new car. Big number. I never look at it. And Carl just pointed. He was like,
I never look at my
how much is
total
in there? And I was like,
sinking funds total.
Yeah.
Doesn't count in that's not my emergency fund.
No,
Like,
I don't see it.
I don't even count it in our net worth because it's for a planned expense.
It's going to get spent.
Yeah.
That is being financially well.
Mm-hmm.
That takes a long time to learn, but that's where it comes from, that not relying on the card. And you can't underestimate how hard that journey is. But once you've done it, there's just something in your head that goes, never again.
And then you get so used to it that you don't see it as a thing. And then someone will say something like the washing machine thing, and you're like, oh my God, I don't worry about money anymore. Mm-hmm. I don't worry about money anymore. And it's like it's not a thing anymore. And it's such a revelation. And you just want to give everyone else that feeling.
Lydia, you did your MOT.
Yeah,
with a sinking
and
fund.
it passed.
Good.
You did your own MOT.
I mean, flex. Side
My
hustle.
little overalls.
But had it not passed,
I didn't think about that.
Let's not talk about that.
if it had needed something small, do you have a place that you can go? Like, not to garage, like in your bank. Like, do you
Have
you might have stressed
emergency
about it, but
funds.
I guess what I mean is, if it had needed something to pass the MOT, you weren't in a position where you're like, well, unless I use a credit card, I can't get that
Oh no, I
done.
wouldn't use a credit card. No. Sorry. I would just put a little. I'd have to just put less in my savings, which is fine. Like, that's not a big deal.
But you'll get to a point where the
Yeah,
car
so
sinking
now
fund,
I have 20 quid in my car sinking fund because of the MOT, and I had a service not long ago as well.
It's a bit depleted,
but it'll build back up.
Yeah.
It's not a panic. There's no
not
no
a
credit
panic.
card.
Exactly. And that's a thing that could be a thing that then triggers you all day as a person to be like, how am I going to find that money? I can't do that holiday now, or I can't do that thing we were going to do. Or if you don't, if you need to borrow money from someone to sort it, that's just all stressful. So
sinking funds save lives.
they
Say it every
do,
time.
They do. Saying no to credit and building up the sinking fund is just a big win. So I'm glad you shared that one.
Yeah.
If you would like to share your win, head to the community in the app or email it to thevault@financial.com. Okay, time for the next dilemma. Hi girls, my dilemma is that I'm 56 and I don't know where to turn. I've even considered cashing in my life insurance so that I don't have to deal with this. 10 years ago, my husband and I split up because of yet another affair. I then found out he had another family elsewhere and he hadn't paid anything to anyone. My house was being repossessed. I had bailiffs knocking on my door all the time. He had disappeared and I was left with 90k worth of debt and took on a mortgage to pay him off, which was a self-certification mortgage. Fast forward to now and I'm still paying that debt off. I have no savings, no pension, and last year I got made redundant and had to live on credit cards and debt basically to survive. I'm back where I was 10 years ago. I now have a temporary job, but that could finish at any time. I just want to feel secure for the first time in my whole life and not have to worry about money and paying bills. What do I do?
So this came into the financial community this week, and I shared it with Lucy from a financial community member who wanted to be kept anonymous, and obviously for the reasons why you can see. Really, really heartfelt goes out to her. She has done incredibly well. Like, you've listened to, this sounds like a 10-year journey that this lady's been on, and the fact that she's still standing and has written in and kind of still wants to get better with her money and kind of do something about it. Like Laura mentioned, we had a little team talk actually before this dilemma was read out because we wanted to help this person as much as we possibly can. We'll probably go out of our way to help her offline as well. But Laura pointed out at the end of a message, she just wanted to feel a little bit more financially well. Like, she knows there's no magic wand that's going to remove everything that's gone over the past 10 years, apart from the fact that a lot of what happened to her sounds like it was out of her control. A partner either helped her get into this situation. We don't know the full backstory, but it sounds to me like she was in a precarious kind of relationship. But yeah, her thing was wanting to feel more financially well at the end of this. So what would we say to her?
Yeah, we did have a good chat about this, because usually we don't know them, but I feel like it was the right thing to do. And this is where like personal finance crosses over being really personal. This is people's lives. Like, sometimes we have jokey dilemmas that I love when I see you send them in, and sometimes it's how to address difficult situations, and this is one of those. And we wanted to answer this in a way that is really, really caring and respects what she's asked. So she wants to feel better, and she doesn't want to feel like she's gone backwards, and she wants to just feel well. And so there's a few things we can do, all of us, to feel more financially well immediately, even if the numbers look like they're stacked against us. So one of the first ones is going to be looking at that budget and making sure it's in a place where she's not having to rely on credit. We've just had a big debate and a chat about that, actually, and it's really interesting that we've moved on there. Now, she says she was when she made redundant. Hopefully now she's in a point where she's not having to live off credit. But if you can just focus on 1 month at a time and know that ignore everything else, but if what comes in covers what goes out, you're doing really well. In fact, you're doing better than a lot of us, because a lot of us are using credit to fund our life. So you're already doing really well, and focus on that's a big thing. If you can just make sure that your needs are met and that you're in as good a place as you can be health-wise, big tick. And your big job for the next 2 to 3 months is to continue doing that. If you can create any room in that budget to help build up some emergency savings, having like 1 month's expenses is a really good rule of thumb to just start, like pick what that number is for you. That's a goal. It's not thinking about pension. It's not thinking about the debt. It's not thinking about this. And don't forget, all her debt payments will be in the expenses as well. So she will be paying down some debt. But getting to that next point where you create some room is a really financially well thing to do. You're building up savings. You're seeing a small pot, ignore everything else. Can that pot increase? Because that's the thing that then you can rely on if you lose a job, if you need help, like, washing machine breaks, whatever the thing is. And then, from there, she's stressed about her job.
I was just about to say, the job thing is weighing heavily on me, because that's your biggest source of income. And if that's not stable, which it doesn't sound like it is, that's already a worry, because when
she's been through redundancy as well, like,
absolutely,
and even permanent jobs are not permanent, as she's well been through. But I think you're right, and I think making sure that you have a lot of working years ahead of you. We all have at that age.
She's talking like, I'm at the end of my working life. I'm like, sorry to break it to you, but people are working well into plus 65 easily. You've got some time to kind of turn this around. And she mentions a lot of things in there. Is one thing I would say. She's talked about pension. She's talked about savings. She's talked about debt. What Laura's talking about is honing in on one thing. Do not worry about that. We've got people in our community that worry so much about the future, and they're missing the point about what they can do with every single paycheck.
Yeah, and trying to control everything means you can't control anything sometimes. And so it's not that we're not saying that the future is important, but literally at the moment it's about looking after your mental well-being, your mental health, and your physical health, and literally just going 1 month at a time. But to your point, she's not running out of time work-wise. Income is the thing that's going to save her here. Yeah. And so getting a stable income and seeing if she can get that income to grow. I don't know how fit and well she is and how many hours she can work, if she can take on an extra job, if she's no dependents. And, I'm hoping that she's not doing a load of free childcare or a load of helping out people, because she needs to look after herself in this scenario. But there could be some extra jobs that she could do on making sure she's maximizing that earnings, because income helps. Income helps, you can stack it up in the corner. Income helps pension-wise, because actually if you've got jobs, looking at whether you can get your auto-enrollment in, where some percentages are being taken just like it is for everyone else, and you're building something up. Again, I just wouldn't worry about that right now, because you've got something in front of you. And I think when you're in that position, you can make more sensible choices. So some of the things she's talked about, a self-certification mortgage, I'm pretty sure you can't get them anymore, but they tend to be a higher interest rate, a penalty interest rate, because you've self-certified and said I earn a certain amount. That usually comes with some downfalls. At some point, when she's in a really good place, she could possibly go see a mortgage advisor and say, "Can I tackle that?"
Yeah, that might not be it forever.
No. And it might be that home's not the right home forever. 10 years ago, she was probably trying to battle to keep it for, her, maybe family, maybe like you've just gone through this grieving process that your partner's left you want to stay put. It may be that there's a more cost-effective living situation that she can look into. Another thing she mentions is cashing in life insurance. So it went on term life policy, which is what most of us would have. You can't do that. But if she's got a particular type of policy, then I would not recommend do it. I would recommend go speak to a financial advisor about that. If this has got a cash value that's something that you can cash in, because you can do that with some policies, and especially if you don't have any dependents. And so as she's getting older, quite frankly, if she has children, they can kind of sort themselves out. Then maybe that's a good idea. You'd need a professional advisor to help you out with that, and then that's worth paying for, given the cash she's talking about.
Some that could go towards paying off debt, or like
paying
you said,
debt,
sorting out that, getting rid of that mortgage or whatever it might be. There's a penalty to pay that. Yeah, just to feel, because this is all about feeling better, and that was her goal.
Better. Yeah. And so what you do is you nail the things that you can control, and you build momentum, and when you are in a good place, you can make better decisions. If everything feels like it's on fire, you could do stuff that isn't, in your best interests. And so, but like you said at the beginning, Holly, like, this is not uncommon. We see this a lot. You're doing amazing. You have survived. It feels like you're treading water a little bit, or probably not. You're probably treading water when you were before you got this new job. You've got a job, like, you're the life raft, and you've got it. Just doing what you're doing now is already doing amazing. Let's do the things I said. Let's see if we can get to a budget where we live on exactly what we make. Let's see if we can create a tiny bit of gap in that. Can we build a small emergency fund? You've already done 50% more than most of the people in this country. So then let's tackle the bigger things. But we'll definitely follow up with you separately outside of this, and hopefully, give you a little bit more support and point you in the right direction to take control of what's an amazing part of your life. Actually, you have done amazing. Let's not be defined by the past now. You've got a real opportunity to nail this for the future.
Yeah. I like how it's not just like you need to get to this number. Number, like it is. Really
it's not a monetary value. Like she
pay down the debt.
She mentioned 90k debt. It's like, it is what it is. It's numbers. That doesn't mean that you're a bad person. Whether it's 90, whether it's 10, it's just a number. Mm-hmm. And you can put things in place that will help that number go down. Not overnight, maybe never. You don't know, but we can make your life. You can have a happy life whilst paying down debt.
Yes, you can. No, you really can.
Doesn't have to be this. You can feel it, can't you? Like grey, dark. It's all quite consuming. Whereas we have so many people paying down debt that are living really good lives.
Yeah, really happy lives, and different ages and different stages. Yeah. Definitely.
Mm-hmm. I feel like in 6 months' time we'll be like, so
how do you feel?
This lady,
and that'll be we'll say that. How do you feel?
Yes,
amazing. So, any final words before we close the vault today?
I feel like we've had some funny dilemmas and some serious ones. I'd like to say that we'll have a chat about our Spotify subscriptions
off camera. That's all for this episode. The vault is now closed. Just a quick disclaimer, the vault is just a chat around life and money topics, and we are not giving financial advice.